Hey everyone, welcome back to more StarCraft. We are going to do Mission 8! An eye for an eye. That sounds really unpleasant.
My long silence is now broken, and I am made whole once more. The cunning Protoss have dared strike down that which was immortal. For the Protoss who murdered Zaz are unlike anything we have faced before. These Dark Templar radiate energies that are much like my own, and it is by these energies that they have caused me harm. Yet shall their overruling pride be their downfall. For when the assassin Zeratul murdered Zaz, his mind touched with mine, and all his secrets were made known to me. I have taken from his mind the secret location of Ire, the Protoss homeworld. At long last, my children, our searching is done. Soon we shall assault Ire directly.
For now, we must ensure that the Dark Templar can cause no more harm. Celebrate, you shall set a trap for our foes. Carrigan will lead them to it.
Alright, let's get this party started. Oh man, this is... Oh my goodness. The Nidus worms are hilarious. Alright, so we got some Kerrigan. These are the locations we need to defend. Oh, okay, we do not have a lot. Wow, okay, yeah, we really don't have much at all. Shoot. Alright, so here's first order of business. We'll split the watch lists. They're so funny. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Dude, this mod is great fun. Okay, so for those of you who are wondering what is it that we need to do, we need to protect these beacons so that our Protoss friends don't come and kill the Overmind. Oh, we have nothing.
Our forces are under attack.
That is a problem. Man, they already like stepped on the gas to make things difficult. I'm gonna say up front, I'm a little bit tired today. I was oh no, Kerrigan. I was quite tired of work. It's one of those days where it's like, you know, when you have the coffee and the coffee's getting the job done, but you still feel tired in spite of the coffee you've had. That's how I feel. Also, we need to make sure we don't die by not having enough units here. Alright, this is probably more than sufficient. We need to start getting a spawning pool so we can get some more Zerglings. And then we can get a Hydralisk Den. We got a lot of work to do. And this is going to be our next base, certainly. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Oof. I think he loses to the Ultra or the Zealot. No? Okay.
Yes, Senator.
I am actually going to position Kerrigan there so that we don't have a TPK, and that is a total party kill. We don't want my party of one Ultralisk to get bamboozled and die. I mean, on the bright side, I think our mineral situation is more or less sorted. And we rally you to there. Good. Alright. Alright, very good. In the meantime, I'm trying to think. I don't think I went on my coffee tangent at all. And this is, I know I mentioned I was already tired earlier. And this is going to improve it, right? Because if I already talk about something I've already just talked about, people are going to be like, oh my goodness, he's so tired, he didn't remember what he was talking about. But like, the coffee kept me awake today. But you know like how you just still feel tired anyways? That's definitely how I felt. Like this whole day. So, I'm like, yeah, like I feel good enough for StarCraft. And you know, I'm still here, I'm playing the game. It's not hard. What I'm doing isn't hard. If someone told me, hey, go for an hour bike ride, I'd be like, no, I really don't feel like it right now. This, though, this is just, like, I'm sitting down playing a computer game. Like, yes. Don't die!
Yes, Samurai.
We need more dudes. And we need to be careful of the Dark Temple that will probably end up coming to Hydra's Den. And we can actually make a creep colony. Orleans though. I'm trying to think how we want to do this. Because if they get like one Reaver, we're in trouble. So we basically need to I'm trying to think here. Thinking's hard. Yeah, that train of thought is gone. And I completely forgot what I was talking about too, but being tired. Oh, this not being very hard. Yeah, I was gonna say the hard part, I guess, is like trying to be entertaining while talking, but I don't think it's that bad. And the thing is too, it's nice for me, like there's no real pressure because if I do a bad job, what happens is that no one watches the video, or like there's, you know, maybe less people sharing or whatever, which is fine because two reasons. A, I'm well aware of the fact that most people don't come to the don't come to the Let's Play channel or come to this channel for the Let's Plays. Not to say that, you know, that absolves me from doing a bad job. I still want to do the best job as possible, but, you know, these don't come here. They come here for the highlights. And then, moreover, this isn't, like, my job. So if my YouTube channel doesn't perform well, that's completely okay because I'm not dependent on this for my finances. Whereas, say, if this were my job, I'd be a lot more concerned about doing a good job of commentating, because if I wasn't able to do a good job of commentating, then like nobody would be interested, and then I think that could cause problems for me. Because, you know, viewership numbers would go down. It'd be like, you know, a TV show. It'd be like the 8th season of Game of Thrones. You know, that didn't do well, and comes to like shoot, like because Game of Thrones didn't do well or had a bad season, we're in trouble because less people are going to tune in for the next season. And like for Game of Thrones in particular, like I think season 8 wasn't very well received. I didn't see it myself, so I can't really say. But as I understand it, people weren't very happy with it, which I believe. Oh, okay, well. There goes the Dark Templar, and he just exploded in a pile of mush. More Hydralisks. Oh, I guess we should have gone to Carapace. That's alright. So for Game of Thrones, because it was like the last season that didn't do that well, I think, you know, if I were to speculate, a lot of people kind of tuned in for the last season, but then because it wasn't great, they wouldn't tune in for season 9. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is, like, if you're having a bad season, you want to have it right at the very end, because most people were going to watch season 8 anyways, regardless of what happens. Need more Hydralisks, and we need to take this base eventually too. Okay, that should actually be enough. We should start getting more hydros. So we can take away, and then once we have more bases, then we can really start wrapping up production. And I'll like use, you know, my Let's Play series as an example. I want to make sure I have a really strong like couple of episodes, and then I want to keep continuing the momentum. And if I want to like whip an episode, I don't want to do it at the very end because people are going to be invested anyways. And like, oh dear, I'm kind of at the point where if you're watching this, chances are probably pretty good that you're going to be watching most of the series anyways. Maybe not. Maybe I may be wrong on that. Oh, hello. Server.
Our forces are under attack.
Wow, that was a huge explosion. I mean, you never want to do a bad job, but for me, I think at this point, like, the damage has been done, which is helping me be calm. But see, then, like, it's so easy to be a victim of your own mind, because I can say, like, oh, yeah, it's easy, you know, like, there's no pressure, but then I start thinking about it, it's like, well, I don't recall anyone leaving a comment regarding the commentary. So does that mean people, like, watch the videos for the commentary, or, like, do they watch for, like, 2 minutes and tap out? And it, like, that would be really easy to trip yourself up on. But, like, it's not really necessary to have that happen. And what I mean by that is, I think in a lot of ways we can be our own worst enemies. In the sense, like, I can get hung up on the small details, like, oh, like, I haven't seen someone leave a comment on this video related to the commentary. Does that mean I have bad commentary? It's like, well, like, why does that matter? Like, I can get hung up on that, but, like, there's no real need for me to do so. I need to get drones. I was so focused on the commentary, I forgot how to play the game. And this goes for, like, a lot of things. Like, I think for some people, okay, I'm gonna say something that this is what I think, and then whether or not you agree, that'll be, you know, a point of discussion. I think a lot of people really care about what others think, and I think we're almost at a point in society where okay, I'm gonna back off from that, because that's gonna be like this huge, like, guy sitting in his chair playing video games has big declarative statements. I think for a lot of people, they get so focused on what other people think of them that sometimes they can compare their decision making, which, like, that's not necessarily, I think, like, a brave statement. It's just more of like, so for example, if you're, like, trying to dress up for a wedding, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, I have to make sure I look good for the wedding. But for what they may not realize is that all these other people are having the same thoughts. So while they're thinking I have to look good for the wedding, other people at the wedding are thinking the exact same thing, so they're focused on themselves and not what is actually and on other people. And I mean, there's exceptions to this, and like, everyone's different. And this is why, like, I say this, and this is a very general statement, but I think that's why I encourage you to like, maybe not to necessarily take it at face value. We should be upgrading all of those too. That would be really good. Because maybe I'm wrong on this, and this is, and the reason why I'm so cautious in my statements is partially because, like, that's just who I am. But for me, I always try to be aware of the facts, like, okay, well, I'm just one person who's lived, you know, in my case, 25 years. So, like, how much do I know? It's like, well, I have the experience of a 25-year-old, which is something more than, like, say, a 20-year-old, but really, like, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot. So I think for me, I want to avoid being, I guess, I want to be careful of what I say because I want to be careful. Like I do this so I don't end up being arrogant, but then by me doing that, that kind of implies that having strong opinions is wrong, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. We're gonna get another round of Zerglings, and then we're gonna go in. Because I think in some cases you absolutely do need strong opinions. All right, very good. Because with the strong opinions, you have people who are more willing to push for what they believe in. Oh my goodness, we need upgrades. All right. All right, well let's go date the races. And for me, I waffle on my opinions a lot, or at least I don't state them very strongly. Which, you know, there's pros and cons to that. Like on one hand, like I come off as more diplomatic, which is good. Oh man, I could have just taken that. All right, well, Jeebus. Interesting. And we need to get Ultras eventually too. You know, with being less forward for the opinions, it might be easier for people to relate to me, and so on and so forth, but I can have a hard time convincing someone who sees things differently because... Are those candles? Is that a birthday cake? Oh, it probably is. I did not realize that. Whereas someone with stronger opinions, yes, they might rub people the wrong way, but with that, they're more likely to stand their ground, say like, hey, this is what I believe in, and so on and so forth. And just because I might not necessarily phrase my opinions in a strong way doesn't mean I can't have strong opinions, but it's just like, it's phrasing. And I guess really like what I'm trying to say here is that even though diplomacy is usually my preferred mode of choice when it comes to interacting, that looks great. I don't think it's necessarily the best. Like, putting it out of the way, diplomacy is definitely my favorite tactic. Oh. But there's situations in which diplomacy isn't always the answer. And like, I mean, you see that in D&D or in some other video games. Like, you try and like talk your way through everything. Sometimes that works, but then sometimes it comes to a point where it's like, well, no, you just really need to like smack the person. I mean, like, that's, I think, where life can get difficult. It's because, like, well, how do you know? Like, when can you make that distinction? Well, Protoss buildings is interesting. They're done. Let's go scout. And while we scout, we can talk some more. How do you make the distinction? Like, what's the right way to act in a particular? Okay. Situations, like, well, that just kind of comes down to experience and like a preference, right? Like, the difficult thing about life in a lot of cases is that we just don't have the answers. Like, we just have to figure it out ourselves, and that's easier said than done in a lot of cases. I really do believe that. And what works for some people may not work for others, and we have a different skill set, right? Like, for me, I might be more comfortable talking to some people than others, and then there's other people who are more comfortable talking to people than I am. Or, like, say I might be, a stronger cyclist than others, or there might be people who are better at StarCraft than me, so on and so forth. And I guess really what I'm saying is, like, we're all special snowflakes. It's like, okay, yeah, like, thank you for the lesson. But sometimes it's easy to forget that, because I know, especially in academics. Oh, this reflex. Go! Alright. The good splits helped ease the pain a little bit. Let's get some ultras going. Get a lot more gas. That's good. We're going to transfer someone to Dronies here. In academics, because we use like kind of like a number scale for grading. Here, let's put the Zerglings there. I think we've got this mission more or less in the bag. It's very easy to compare ourselves to others because like we just have like a simple grade, you know. It's like, oh, Timmy got 95%. You can quantify that as like, well, how well did Jason do? Oh, he got 96%. So even though, well, Timmy did good, Jason did better because like we have these number values. But one quote I saw, which I liked, said that if you compare, well, I had a bunch of different animals. It was a comic. Sorry, I completely undermined myself. Let me say it this way. If we judged a fish by its ability to climb, the fish would feel stupid. And, like, we obviously don't do that. We should actually... Oh, are they... Interesting. They're cleaned out. Everyone looks at fish and say, okay, well, no, like, we're gonna, like, instead look at its ability to swim versus, you know, its ability to climb, because we know fish can't climb. And I think people are kind of the same way in a lot of aspects. In the sense that we have different strengths and weaknesses and things that we're good at. So, just because I might not be the best StarCraft player doesn't necessarily mean I am not good at other things. Alright, beautiful. I'm really getting sidetracked here.
More forces are under attack.
More Hydras. Actually, they did not take much damage. And like, let's go find another Protoss base. And I think, you know, for me, like, talking about what I'm talking about, is, oh, we have different strengths and weaknesses. I think... Uh-oh, that's not cool. Hello, is that a base?
Forces are under attack.
Get out of here. That's good. Sorry, I never completed my thought at all. Dude, I was like, yeah, I'm crushing it for the commentary, and then, dude, it felt like I hit a brick wall. As soon as I started attacking, that's where I lost it all. I think the thing that I kind of want to caution against is, I feel like I make it sound like, oh, like everyone can succeed at whatever they put their minds to. First of all, I think like off top the dome piece, I'm not qualified to say that because like I'm still very young in this grand scheme of things. I think that's enough watch lists. Might want to throw some circles there for good measure, but we have a ton of gas. I'm pretty young, so it's like it's hard for me to say like, oh, like this is what success is, because I think in some ways I haven't figured that out. But there's a lot of instances in life where we can put our minds to something and then just not succeed. I don't think we need the whole crew. We're just gonna do this. Get some lings. Get an Ultralisk. Oh, I don't think we actually need the Ultras. We probably need more Hydralisks, if anything. Did we? Oh, we need to upgrade the orbs too. Ah, we didn't upgrade anything. All right. Holy, I didn't realize you guys were me so poorly.
We require more minerals.
I think that's all I have to say about that. I definitely lost my train of thought, so it no longer exists. And according to the feed, I've been talking for like 25 minutes. That's pretty... Oh, Templars. Oh, okay, hold on.
I'm listening. Yes, Celebrate.
I don't want you to die.
Forces are under attack.
Whew. Alright. Okay, shore up the Ultralisk, please. That was scary. Good grief. Alright, let's see what you can see. Alright, there's the enemy. Yay! Alright, he's gone. Alright, let's wreck all of them.
Our forces are under attack.
Alright, good. Well, at least it did good damage.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh my goodness. Oof. Man, I am glad that we have the Ultralisk to help fight versus the users. I think that Templar's out of energy too, so we should be...
I grow tired of slaughtering your souls.
Oh, did we just have to destroy the Nexus?
But the mighty Templar lost their infallible courage.
Well spoken, concubine of Blizzard.
Wow, okay.
Striking you from the shadows, do not think we lack the courage to stand in the light. You will do well to abandon Blizzard.
You seem overconfident of your abilities, darling one. I am no helpless servant to be assailed in the cover of darkness. I am the queen of flames, and my stare alone will reduce me to ashes. You and your ilk cease to amuse me. Prepare yourself for oblivion's embrace.
Alright. Are we still going? Oh, I think that was like kind of like the little cutscene you get for whatchamacallit, destroying the Nexus. There we go. I can speak English. Who said I can't? Do we have all the upgrades? I think we do. We can spare some Zerglings. Man, they are just so happy. I love those buggers. Alright, yeah. Okay, so it looks like we still have more of the mission left. And let's bring some drones over. Take another base. Just make sure we're covered on all fronts. Oh, the Zerg music is so good. I was gonna say, like, so we have, like, video game music in, like, the old days was really good and memorable. Which, I think there's truth to that. There's definitely some slappers that are from back in the day. But me personally, like, there's some really good tracks from the modern age too. Like, for example, I've been listening to a lot of Death Stranding, and that game's not even out yet, and I've been really enjoying that. Resident Evil 2 has some good music, like the remake did. The Hunk theme, very good. I like video game music a lot, and actually that's probably the next thing to talk about. Is like I really enjoy video game music, but I feel like that's not everyone's cup of tea. Like I feel like this is something I wonder about, because I know for me, I listen to a lot of video game music, and that's almost exclusively what I listen to. But I wonder for people my age if that's the norm or if I'm closer to the exception. Like, I think everyone watching this would go ahead and say, like, oh yes, StarCraft has absolutely fantastic music. Like, I don't think there'd be anyone watching this who'd be like, I don't like the StarCraft music. I mean, it's possible, and if you don't like it, that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for most, I mean, like, it makes sense too. Like, if you're watching this, it's like you're presumably a fan of StarCraft. Oh, don't die. Thank you, Carapace. I think it's just that one Protoss base. Like, we sacked the big one. Oh, okay, well, he had a good run. So, like, let me get... I feel... Okay, another thing I think what people listen to these days, or like, at least, like, them kids, would be... We need Fearless Supply. And we're going to Fearless Supply by just tacking to that base. Oh, whoops, we forgot Trust for the Hydralisk. Did I talk about electric music? Man, I'm... This is where, like, me being tired is, like, really being my own worst enemy. And I think this happens anyways with StarCraft, where, like, I'll lose my own tangent. Because, you know, I'll be, like, when I'm at the base, like, I'm starting to figure out, like, oh, okay, like, I can manage my base and talk at the same time pretty well, but as soon as I get into a fight, that's when I start to lose it, because there's a lot more going on. I need to, you know, like, build units, manage my economy, all these other things. Oh. Okay, I think that was it. We could have just, like, rolled them. I made this mission, like, 7 minutes longer than it needed to be. 400? They just have a weight in there? Alright, well, I mean, it is what it is, right? Ta-da! Victory! Yeah, C61 APM, but I think that's because, like, I'm not trying hard. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye!